May 19th, 2021 was the day I lost my father to a terrible, it was a terrible week of COVID infection. It has been an emotional roller coaster from since then, and it will take many more years for my heart to settle and accept the fact that I will never be able to see him, talk to him, or even be able to share my sorrows and joys with him. My father has always been a pillar of support for me. He always instilled a lot of confidence in me as I grew up. He was the one who taught me to ride a bike right at my childhood. And keeping an eye on my studies, he also introduced me to hockey, badminton, table tennis, and swimming. Later on, as I grew up, he even taught himself to drive a car. I've always seen him interacting with many people, and he could also, with great ease, talk to any stranger. This was a life lesson for me as I grew up. My father had been a part of Bank of India since 1962. He loved Bank of India and was, a person who wanted to do many things in the bank. Since 1962, when he took his charge in Bank of India in Kannur, and then later on, he moved on to Bombay, Hubli, Coimbatore, Bangalore, Pune, and finally when he retired, he was in Chennai. He had many friends, and he always enjoyed taking part in all their gatherings. Even after he retired from the bank, he would go and participate in all the Bank of India Retiree Association and other different gatherings that they had. My father had always wanted to visit the bank, and I would find that he would just have an excuse to go to the bank just to update his passbook. I know that he just wanted to go to the bank to talk to his friends. And even though I had always told him that I would teach him net banking or online transaction, he just rejected it for the same reason. He enjoyed his moments with his friends, and I know that he would be very happy to have continued working in the bank for a long time if he was allowed to. When he retired, they settled, my mom and my dad settled in Chennai. And he always had great interest in Carnatic music. This Carnatic music interest grew into a passion when he came to Chennai. And my mother and he would kacheri hop, as they do it during the December season, and visit so many kacheris whenever they could. He always he was very curious about so many ragas that they would sing during the kacheris. And he would silently ask my mother what this raga would be, because he didn't know much about the ragas when he was, listening to the music. My mother would tell him the ragas because she is more, into all the music. And later on, as he grew to listening to so many music, and also at home on the radio and attending so many kacheris, he knew he could identify the ragas himself. So this was something my father enjoyed. As he took part in so many kacheris, he also became a trustee in Shanti Arts Foundation, which is a sabha. And this foundation also helped many youngsters to showcase their talent during their upcoming kacheris. So with this, I thank you all for coming here, and I invite a few of my father's friends to come and speak a few words about him. Thank you. Mr. Bhaskaran, please come.
Good evening, friends. I remember C.K. and myself and some of our colleagues met over high tea in Sangeeta Hotel in February 2021. He was so jovial, so courteous, and open in talks with all of us. And he was looking very hale and healthy all through. I have seen him since 1969, when I was in Nagpur branch in charge of credit. C.E.K. visited as in charge of SMS study team for Bank of India. At that time, he used to wear only white shirt, well dressed, stiff-necked, always smiling, and these qualities endeared me so much. That was in 1969. So nearly about 53 years I have been associated with him. Of course, I have not met his family at that time. I had chance to meet his family members only when I was in Cochin, Ernakulam. But he has been upright, straightforward, and smiling, acceptable to all the customers of the bank. He had all the virtues of a good banker. He has been successful also to a great extent. Only thing is, he will not buckle down under pressure from any quarters. Perhaps that is a disqualification for a true banker. So that was the thing that has put him a stop to in his career path elevation. These are all things I know very well about what C.E.K. was. But I never knew that he had so much love for music that he would settle down in Madras, and for the sake of music alone, he chose to settle down in Madras. In 1994, he retired from the bank and settled down here. And I was still in service, but whenever I used to visit this Ragasudha Hall, we always meet each other. And he used to come to me for some sort of sponsorship and all. We used to engage in several talks, and he made it a point very clear to the Rasikas that he would always encourage the young artists. That was his motto. Even though he liked the big artists, songs, music and all these things, but he loved so much to encourage the what is called young artists. That was a great virtue which he had it. And really, I feel very sad that we have parted a great soul in 2021. And we never imagined in February 21 that his end was so to be so close. When we heard of the news, that was a great shock to all of us. And it's a good tribute to C.E.Krishnan, who is a lover of music, that in his memory today we are going to have a music concert by none other than his most loved musician, Nisha Rajagopal. Because wherever Nisha Rajagopal used to give a performance, C.E.K. will be in the first bench. He will never miss any of her programs. That was his so love for that Nisha artist. So it's a fitting tribute to C.E.K. that we are going to enjoy the music of Nisha this evening. Thank you, gentlemen. Now I call upon T.R. Madhavan, who has been his colleague for a while, and he would throw more light on C.E.K.
Good evening, everybody. We have gathered here to pay homage to the memory of Mr. C.E.Krishnan. perhaps one of the most gentle bankers. He had a lot of compassion for his staff. I wish Mr. Ishwaran was here. He would have vouchsafed for that. He was the leader of the Officers Association at that time. He would have vouchsafed for what I am saying. He was one who proved, to my knowledge, that results could be achieved and targets could be surpassed by having a gentle approach to the staff rather than the approach with the strict and harsh words. He is an outstanding example of that. And Mr. Bhaskaran was talking about acceptability. I think if somebody evolves an acceptability index, he will score 10 out of 10. He is accepted in any crowd, and he will make his presence felt by his sheer pleasantness and talkative nature also, of course. I hardly worked with him for a month. When I was transferred to Coimbatore from Bangalore, he was the regional manager, and within a week he was transferred to Bangalore. So we hardly worked for a month. And during those days I could see the way he handled several official matters. And what underscored all his dealings were, as I told you, his gentle nature and the compassion for the staff. It was not until 92, this was in the year 85 when I went to Coimbatore. It was not until 92 when I met his family, and that too in a foreign land. Dr. Shankar and Shobha were in Washington. At the time I was in New York. So we visited each other. That was how we became family friends. And since then, it was he who will contact me always. And that is the man. He will always be in touch with his friends. Whether I call him or not, he doesn't bother. He will call me once in 2 months, 3 months, inquire about the well-being of my family and myself. It was, it is not cultivated. I think it is a gene, perhaps. Another feature of his, another aspect of his personality came to the fore after both of us retired. That is his love for Carnatic music, of course. And he was especially interested in promoting young talent. And one such was Miss Nisha, who is the artist of the day. And in fact, if somebody approaches him, any of his friends approach him for a suggestion whose kacheri they should keep for a wedding, he will not hesitate. Immediately he will blurt out Nisha Rajagopalan, I will arrange. That was the faith and confidence he had in her. So today also I am sure, like all of us, he has freshened up, he has collected his friends above and is ready to listen to our music, I think. Thank you all very much.
I am P. N. Ramaswamy. I live in Mylapore. That was the one reason which brought the association of Mr. C.E.Krishnan, the place, and Mylapore branch, because I am from a different generation from Mr. C.E.Krishnan. By the time he joined the bank, I was still in college. So that's the difference. So my association is only after he retired from the bank. And I entered the bank at that time. And in fact, our first meeting was in a Kacheri Hall. That's how it happened, because after retirement, sitting down in Chennai, my wife has got interest in music, especially Carnatic music. I am only accompany her to hall and bring her. And one such meeting, I met Mr. C.E.Krishnan. That's how I came to know of him. I came to know of him more while sitting in Mylapore branch, because that is another place where he used to often visit. Very nice, fine gentleman. And as Mr. Madhavan said, and also endorsed by Mr. Bhaskar, he is fond of talking. And in fact, I am a great listener. So we had a great conversation. That's how the association went on. And all of a sudden one day, I came to know about his demise. Really shocked, because another place we used to meet is in the park, Nagasudha Park. Because during the pandemic period, people were stopped moving around anywhere. So I didn't meet him for a long and came to know about this. I felt very sad of missing a person, despite the age difference, used to talk to me on a equal footing. That is nice of him. And I thought that I should be a part of the people who are paying homage to him. And I'm happy that I am able to make it and meet his friends and relatives, and let me join them in paying my homage to him. Thank you.
Namaskara. Today is a very, very moving and sentimental day. I don't want to make it very sad or anything, because C.E.K. is always known to be a very jovial person, very smiling person. So we will remember him like that. I am also from Bank of India, so Krishnan sir, Krishnan mama, adala engalukku othukadu. We are more familiar with C.E.K. Enga ponalum C.E.K. Like Madhavan was saying, or Bhaskaran was saying, or even Ramaswamy, he became more passionate with Carnatic music after coming to Chennai. Like Madhavan was saying, or Bhaskaran was saying, I got connected with him because I am in Mylapore. I have not worked with him. Now, one branch is 25 mile tali where branch or he will be in the zonal office, I will be in some other branch. So we have always been together in the same city, but not working together. But music brought us together. Chennai brought us together. Mylapore brought us together. So when, and another great important thing is, he belongs to Calicut, I also belong to Calicut. I have met him only in two places. Either he comes to my house or I come to Ragasudha. Where we just meet Pandada. Because he used to be a regular, his haunting place was Ragasudha Hall, always. And those were the years when Naada Inbam, Ragasudha, they were all in the formative ages, say 2000 onwards. He used to be very close to me because he used to come to my house and discuss. As again, the earlier speakers were saying, he always used to encourage youngsters. He will start discussing with Trima, he is going to sing in Ragasudha Hall next week. And it's always used to be like that. So today, the whole atmosphere here is of total என்ன சொல்ல அழகு, ரொம்ப அழகான ஒரு இடம். இது ஒரு மியூசிக்கல் ட்ரிபியூட்டுங்கிறதுனால ஐ திங்க் ஐ வில் ஹேவ் டு சிங் அ ஃபியூ லைன்ஸ் ஆஃப் சம்திங் விச் இஸ் கனெக்டட் வித் தி ஃபங்க்ஷன் டுடே. ஏன்னா மயிலாப்பூர், அபிராமபுரம், these are all places. I will say Mylapore is the seat of Carnatic music in one way. Mylapore வந்து கர்நாடிக் மியூசிக்கு ரெண்டாவது பிறந்த வீடு புகுந்த வீடு ரெண்டுமே. மயிலாப்பூர் விட்டால் தான் கர்நாடிக் மியூசிக். ஸோ அவர் வந்து he took lot of interest in bringing up small, new, fresh singers, encourage them. ஒரு காலத்தில் என்னாச்சு, இந்த எனக்கு வந்து மியூசிக் அகாடமியில் 5 o'clock ஸ்லாட் கிடச்சி கொடுத்துன்னு சொல்லுவா சில பேர். அது போய் சில பேர் நான் ராகசுதாவில் நெக்ஸ்ட் வீக் பாடுறேன்ப்பா. ஸோ அந்த அளவுக்கு இட் வாஸ் பிகமிங் ஃபேமஸ். ராகசுதா அண்ட் நாத இன்பம் வர் பிகமிங் ஃபேமஸ். ஸோ ஹீ இஸ் எ வெரி committed person, very genuine person. That's why he could succeed in bringing up Naada Inbam, Ragasudha both. நான் வந்து I was out of Chennai for almost nearly 2 years. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி CVK, I mean Krishnan is no more with usங்கிறது இன்னும் எனக்கு உரைக்கவே இல்லை. only now I feel இங்கே ராகசுதா ஹாலுக்கு வந்த உடனே I feel the emptiness. அதர்வைஸ் there was ஒரு பிரமை எனக்கு இன்றைக்கி. அங்கே வந்து கொஞ்சம் ஏர்லியராக வந்துட்டேன். ஸோ ஐ தாட் பீப்புள் ஹவ் நாட் கம், இட்ஸ் நாட் ஓப்பன். அங்கே வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன். ஸோ ஐ ஹேட் பிரமை. யூஸ்வலாக சிகே இதே மாதிரி ஒரு ஹாஃப் ஸ்லீவ் ஜிப்பா போட்டுண்டு அவருடைய ஃபேமஸ் ஸ்கூட்டரில் வந்து இறங்கி அந்த ஹெல்மெட்டை கையில் வச்சுட்டு என்ன டிகே வந்தாச்சா அப்படிவார் அங்கேருந்து. So that's what I felt today. I thought that CK is coming. So he is here with us. அவர் வந்து because of his interest in music and this particular Ragasudha Hall, I think இங்கே பூரா வியாபிச்சிருக்காருன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். So he is with us today and we have to feel happy about it. So we should not feel sad about him. He is in a good place. He had a good life. He had good friends. There are so many here, friends, relatives, colleagues, sishyas, people who he has mentored. So many types of people are here. பட் இந்த அழகு இந்த இடத்துக்கு என்னன்னாக்கா, ஆடும் மயிலாய் உருவெடுத்து ஈசன் திருத்தாள் நாடி அர்ச்சித்த நாயகியே அம்மா உன் திருநாமம் பாடி பாடி பரவசமெய்தும் பாங்கென கருள்வாய் காடெனவே பொழில் சூழ் திருமயிலாபுரி கற்பகமே பாடுவார். அதாவது பொழில் சூழ் மயிலாப்பூர், மயிலாபுரி, திருமயிலைன்னு பேர் இதுக்கு. வெறும் மயிலாப்பூர், திருமயிலை, அழகிய மயிலாபுரி. மயிலாபுரியில் ஒரு அபிராமபுரி. அபிராமனாக்கா அழகிய, ரொம்ப ஓவர் அழகு, ரொம்ப டூ மச் ஆஃப் அழகுன்னு அர்த்தம். ஸோ மயிலாப்பூர், அழகிய மயிலாபுரி, அதில் அழகிய அபிராமபுரி, அதில் ஒரு ராகசுதா. சுதானாக்கா இட்ஸ் another நேம் ஃபார் தி ரிவர் கங்கா. கங்கை பிரவாகம் மாதிரி ராகம் பிரவாகம் எடுத்து ஓடுகிற ஒரு இடம் இந்த ராகசுதா. அதில் ஒரு நாத இன்பம், எல்லாமே இன்பம், நாத இன்பம், ராக இன்பம், கான இன்பம். அந்த இன்பத்தை எல்லாம் ஒன்றா கொண்டு வந்து சேர்த்துற இந்த நாத இன்பத்தில் ஒரு CEK. So that is how it all comes to form a canopy of Carnatic music in this area. I am a Mailapurian. நான் இப்படி தான் பேசுவேன். நான் I belong to Abhiram. I am just living walking distance from here. I am on CP Ramsamy Road. நிறைய தடவை கச்சேரி நடக்கும்போது வந்திருக்கேன், நின்றுருக்கேன், கேட்டிருக்கேன், அங்கே உட்காந்துருக்கேன், போயிருக்கேன். ஈவன் ஐ ஹேட் சம் ஃபேமிலி ஃபங்க்ஷன்ஸ் இன் திஸ் ஹால். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் அ வெரி வீடு மாதிரி எனக்கு. ஸோ whenever I come, I presume that CK will be here. இன்றைக்கி தான் I just felt. So today, the first time I felt CK is not there. It's a very fulfilling feeling. Okay, CK இருந்தார், எவ்வளோ கச்சேரி அட்டென்ட் பண்ணியிருப்பார், எவ்வளோ கச்சேரி எவ்வளோ பேரை ப்ரமோட் பண்ணியிருப்பார். He did a good job in the Carnatic music field. So that happiness is there today with me. And as they were saying, இன்னைக்கு கச்சேரி இருக்கு. His favorite singer is going to sing and his favorite songs. And you're all, I think, waiting to listen to her. அவெல்லாம் வந்துட்டாளா? அது நிஷா ராஜகோபால்லாம் வந்துட்டாளா? நமஸ்காரம். இப்போ தான் சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தேன், you are a favorite of C.E. Krishnan and you are going to sing some of the favorite songs of C.E.K. We are all from Bank of India and we are his colleagues. C.E.K. பற்றி ஜாஸ்தி நான் பேச வேண்டாம். You all know him very well. You have had very, very personal experiences with him. So அதை ஜாஸ்தி பேச வேண்டாம். And you also know Nisha Rajagopalan very well. You have heard so many of her concerts. I have also heard so many of her concerts here. And சொல்லுவா சாதாரணமாக ஸ்ருதி மாதா லய பிதான்னு சொல்லுவா. அதனுடைய ப்ராடக்ட் தான் அது. ஸ்ருதி அண்ட் லயத்துடைய ப்ராடக்ட் தான் சுதா நிஷா ராஜகோபால். இன்றைக்கி எனக்கும் நிஷா ராஜகோபால் அவர்களுக்கும் ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு ஃபெமிலியாரிட்டி இருக்குது. இட்ஸ் அ கைண்ட் ஆஃப் ஒரு ரிவர்ஸ் ஃபெமிலியாரிட்டி. நிஷா ராஜகோபாலருக்கு முதல்ல மியூசிக், அப்புறம் ஞானாம்பிகா. எனக்கு முதல்ல ஞானாம்பிகா, அப்புறம் மியூசிக். Naada Inbam, I have seen her, some of these concerts there. And so I will not take too much of your time. I think she is ready to enthrall us with the music that we have been waiting for. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity to talk here and express my feelings. I really feel happy that I am here with C.E.K. here in this hall again to listen to some beautiful concert. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Welcome everyone, and thank you all for speaking such beautiful, moving words about my grandfather, or as I would always call him, my tata. You know, I'm his grandson and I have a unique perspective of my tata, and I'd like to share a few words on that. As a kid, to me, he was like a mountain of a man. He was this tall, strong, energetic person who seemed indestructible. He was very soft and nice and kind, of course, but this is what struck me. He used to say that, you know, he was this way because he did yoga, he practiced yoga, he played a lot of cricket, and he did such incredible things like climbing up a coconut tree with his bare hands and feet. He taught us a bit of yoga, he taught us a bit of cricket, but how he climbed those trees, you know, it's still unbelievable for me. And believe me, I've tried in my childhood. It just seems impossible. But these were the kind of physical attributes and feats that struck me as a little kid. But as I grew up, I, you know, started noticing and really appreciating his behavior and his personality. And as everyone has said so far, one of the most striking qualities is how gregarious he was. He could and he would talk to anyone, anywhere, in multiple languages. And as a kid, walking around in Mylapore with him, this actually frustrated me a little bit. Because we'd stop everywhere. He'd talk to the guy selling vegetables. He'd talk to the woman selling flowers. He'd talk to relatives. He'd talk to the neighbors. He'd talk to the neighbor's watchman. He'd talk to the customers in the shop. And we'd bump into friends inevitably, and he'd be talking to them, and we'd be stopping, and I'd be dragging him along or kicking a stone around. So maybe some of you might remember me as that kid around there. But as I grew up, these interactions became real valuable lessons. I learned how to joyfully engage with people from all walks of life. You know, how to break the ice with a complete stranger. How to nurture the bonds between people that you already know. All of these were very valuable lessons, and I think everyone who's interacted with him has felt this. And we've also heard about this so far. So, the fact that we are all here together, gathered, both in person and online, is actually a testament to how he still moves us even after he's gone from this world. That's really quite amazing, I feel, and it's a very striking feature of him. Another very endearing quality, as we've heard so far, was his love for music, of course. and his wish and willingness and active efforts to support the growth of Carnatic music around here. But to do true justice to this, I would call my dad, my father, on stage, and he'll set the stage for the melodious evening ahead. Thank you.
My namaskarams to all of you. It's a very humbling experience, having heard such experiences you all have enjoyed. And as a son-in-law, I too have my perspective, admired a lot. And especially the Carnatic music love he had. He is fondly called as C.K. Mama in Carnatic music circles. And he was an ardent Carnatic fan, but not simply to just listen to very good Carnatic concerts, but he loved it as an institution. That is what was very distinguishing feature he had. And he not only enjoyed the music, but he would make friendship, with the Rasikas, with the artists, especially young artists. So and then actually proceed from there to really promote this beautiful music. So right from 1992, when he came and settled down in Chennai after his retirement, until the last year passed away so sadly for me, he served Carnatic music institution in many ways. So apart from his own cash contributions, he had tremendous goodwill among banks, especially Bank of India, and several companies and institutions, NGOs, and he would gather from, funds from all of this and help Sabhas and young artists to really bloom. And this was actually very gratefully remembered by many, and anywhere I go with him, he would introduce at least half a dozen young artists and Rasikas to me. And of course, as already we heard, Bank of India friends will be there. His true friends would be there. He and his wife, Padma Krishnan, is here, and they knew many young artists personally, and some of them they are their family friends. Kacheris, season, he would hop from one, like my wife said, hop from one sabha to another like a busy bee. And those days, even if we want to really visit him, we should really first ask him whether he would be available. It was that difficult that those days. He was a very busy man, and he would enjoy that. He would enjoy that because that gives them encouragement and also big support. And he took personal interest finding slots for such young artists in various sabhas, and that way I think he served very well for this institution. He and his wife actually used to speak very high of these young artists, and also very animatedly when they get awards and recognitions. He used to be so elated when they do well. And this is something that really admired. It is not simply, you do something, but you enjoy that. That is what is very important. So years ago, especially I think, after we came from US in 1995. In one of these instances, they came across Nisha Rajagopalan's mother, Mrs. Vasundhara Rajagopalan, and got to know their family and became family friends for mutual admiration. And every time the conversation, he would mention, there will be always some topic about them. And, we used to be very happy that he was feeling that happy, about them. So, that is a cherished friendship. We are very happy it is continuing, madam. And I am very happy you are here to enthrall us as a tribute. As I said, he used to be visibly elated whenever either Mrs. Vasundhara Rajagopalan or Nisha Rajagopalan, they are recognized, and this thing used to come and talk about it at our home, and those were really very nice days. And he was truly your admirer till the end. Therefore, we are fortunate to have you, madam, to render this music tribute for him. I think it is the most fitting thing to happen with God's grace. Then, to introduce Mrs. Nisha Rajagopalan to this august audience is taking cold to Newcastle. So I am not doing that. She is very well known. In fact, when I sent links to many of my friends all over the world, they were more particular, noticing Mrs. Nisha Rajagopalan's concert than the anniversary. So, it is that popular. Many of them said that they have her albums, and they would be very happy to listen to the link, to use the link and listen to her live. So that way, I am very grateful. And we cannot adequately express our gratitude in words for her desire to pay this musical tribute. It was on her own, she said, and we are very thankful for that. We are indebted to her and family for many things, that including this kind gesture. This is very important, and we will continue to be like that. We are thankful to all the accompanying artists today, and Vidwan C. Vishwesh on violin, then Ananda Krishnan on mridangam, and H. Prasanna on katam. For the Naada Inbam, we are going to immerse in. So finally, I would like another aspect that has added a great value to this is Ragasudha. It is one of my, I'll join you. Yes. This is one of my father-in-law's favorite sabha. The scene of our sitting in that row adjacent to the second entrance is in front of me now. In fact, we have listened to Mrs. Nisha Rajagopalan's concerts here, and that will be a pleasure, but without him, but he is here. So, he is very close. And actually, my father, late Dr. K.R. Krishnan, had known Sri C.E.Krishnan from 1980s. And he used to speak very high of him, mainly because he's a celebrity in championing pristine Carnatic music experience. Because, acoustically perfect halls is what he conceived. And he built the first one in Coimbatore, and it made a mark. So, this is something very, very important to the growth of Carnatic music. These are things which really add. So, to the values of Carnatic music. And later, then he started this. Fortunately for us, because we all settled here, and he has really promoted by having great musicians rendering concerts here. So our happiness multiplies when Srimati the Jaya madam, when you agreed and then you made all the necessary arrangements to host this event. So we are very happy about that, and this is part of tribute to C.E.K. Mama, and let us now celebrate the fruits of C.E.K. Mama's 3 decades of passionate service to Carnatic music, musicians and sabhas. Thank you very much.